Remix Morning Show, y'all. That's right. It's the new Friday right here, Black Power Media. And we have our host today. First of all, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Next, we got Dr. Jared Ball. We got Kalaji Jamachanga. We got Burn It Down Kim Brown. And we got Kamal K. Franklin. Welcome to the Remix Morning Show, y'all.
This is the remix.
Yes, indeed.
Why am I still Kamal? Not Kamal.
I noticed that.
Why am I still Kamal? Kamal. Ow. Like an ow.
Kamal.
Kamal from the shout.
I think his name is Kamal.
Kamal.
I did notice your name.
Word.
I noticed your name did go into Kamal lately. You know what I'm saying?
Kamal.
Sound like
messing names up right here.
Oh, okay. You sound like Loose. Yo, come on. Shout out to Loose, Playback Studio.
Loose.
What up?
Welcome
Remix
back,
Morning
Kim.
Show.
What's going on? Good to see you again.
Hey, man.
Welcome
Thank
back.
you, guys. Thank you. Needed a little ladies' day just to just to sleep in, just a tidbit. So yeah. So appreciate that. Y'all giving me the day off. Appreciate that.
Right on. Who was that we were listening to on the way in though? I forgot to ask. I didn't recognize that track. And Kim, you look like you might know it, but I didn't
know it actually, but it sounded
good.
Right?
It
really reminded me of like those old Kanye samples. You know what I mean? Like before Kanye turned outright cornball. But you know what I mean? Like, what was that, Ear Doctor? Ear Doctor went to the toilet. Never mind.
He left.
Ace
Fatal. Oh wow. All right.
Okay.
Shout out community movement builders.
Okay.
By the way,
what's up,
Kamal? You know, the other day, you know, so both of you, we didn't get the three of us back on at the same time since it happened. But the other day, Kim mentioned we talked briefly about the end of Chocolate City in DC. Then I updated and found I saw a new opinion piece talking about that DC has officially gone under 50% for those who identify at least as partially black, which I thought was an interesting way of phrasing it. So then I thought, when I see Kamau again, we gotta get CMB up in DC because gentrification is or has done its number. And you know, while I love my beautiful pockets of blackness out here in the suburbs, I don't like it at the detriment of Chocolate City.
Pockets of blackness.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Little pockets of blackness.
They said white chocolate.
There are no pockets of blackness.
There absolutely, Kim, you're tripping. There absolutely are. I grew up in one. That's what I'm saying. They're little pockets.
Long Reach, Guilford.
Long Reach, Airy Brooklyn, as they used to call it, Airy Bronx, Airy Brink Lane. I'm telling you, and if you go there right now. No, seriously, people got to understand the way Columbia was designed, for those who don't know, was intentionally to create the Section 8 housing around village centers. So the poorest didn't have to drive to get to their immediate shopping needs, right? And then immediately, that's what I'm saying, little pocket. And then right around that, immediately you get the townhouses, then the single families, then the bigger, and then. But in that little pocket, that's all I meant by that. And then if we go outside of Howard County, of course, into PG, where you have larger pockets of powerless black communities, all I would say is I just didn't want it to be at the detriment of Chocolate City. So I just wanted to note that and reconnect those strands, even as Kim is telling
me. They might be happening to Atlanta. The next census might show Atlanta is below 50% black also.
Now, the crazy thing, nationally, they're saying that white folks, you know, the population is going down. So, you know, depending on, I mean, I don't know where that is, but, you know, I mean, and to Biden's defense, he said that it's still Chocolate City. It's just going to be white chocolate.
Yeah, there it is.
Just what you do.
And what's been
happening, if you complain about it, you ain't black.
That's right. It ain't black.
That's what Biden said.
And
we making that up,
just,
Kim. We're making that up. I see you.
Kim's confused right now.
No, because I see some people.
She was
in
about
the
to go
chat
into a
talking
rage
about Howard County. I'm like, dog, I grew up in Howard County, shorty. I all them places y'all talking about, Oakland Mills, out there, Howard High School, Wild Lake, them so-called black schools. They used to shit on me because I went to Atherton. I'm like, shorty, your school is 20% black. So let's not sit here and act like you go to a real black school. You do not.
No, again, that's not. First of all, that's not my argument. I'm talking about the community. So for instance, where my daughter, where I won't disclose it, but where my daughters did end up going to school was 99% black and brown. There was, and it was all because of the way they zone everything. So there are these, like I'm saying, they're small. I'm not trying to, exaggerate. I'm using the word pocket intentionally. They are little pockets of poor black and brown, mostly Section 8 communities. And then what's been happening in Howard County, first of all, they've noted a number of things. One, it is among the highest rated places in the country to live, but it's also one of the highest rated rates of segregation in the public schools, primarily at the level of advanced classes. So what they mean is you might even be in the same building physically, technically with white students, but you have a very segregated schooling experience even within that same school. Because so all I'm saying is it's the same processes that happen writ large in a microcosmic display, which shows, I think, the contradictions and the falsehoods of the claims that have been associated with Columbia, Maryland, or Howard County, but expanded into, writ large across the country. These are fantasies of melting pots, etc. So I'm not trying to suggest anything that isn't real, Kim. I'm just saying in these little pockets, they're microcosms of the broader.
Can I ask you guys, you DC guys, you DC, Maryland folks, of course, so this Prince George County. So always from the outside looking they're always rating, if I'm not mistaken, Prince George County as the richest black county in the country, and all that kind of stuff. Like, so what is like, what is that county like per se? And, they're always like, and particularly these like magazines that are trying to, big up black wealth and all that kind of stuff. It's always Prince George County is the place to live or whatever. So what's Prince George County like?
Well, I'm a Prince George's County resident now. I grew up in Howard County. So all y'all in the chat, I know the goddamn difference between PG and Howard County, because PG is very black. I mean, it is not pockets of blackness. It is virtually all black. Prince George's County historically was where white people lived until Chocolate City, people began to not evacuate, but move out of DC starting probably in the 70s, 80s, and come into PG County. So areas like Landover, Largo, near where FedEx Field is, where the Washington football team plays. I mean, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, that used to be all white. And now that those areas are now all black. And I think probably what gives PG County black residents, this moniker of having a lot of wealth, it's just that there's a lot of homeowners. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think that people necessarily got a lot of money per se. They just own their homes. Or these are people that work for the federal government, have had good government jobs. Shout out to Mayor Marion Barry. Even though he was DC, PG County is lovingly referred to as the ninth ward of DC. You know what I mean? Because that's where a lot of Washingtonians, black Washingtonians, migrated to. But people are being forced out of DC now at much higher rates, and beyond PG County, they're headed a little south to Charles County, down towards Waldorf area. That's another section of Maryland where there's a big, strong black population that is growing. But I don't know, Jared, you want to kick in on this? I mean, I think it's the home ownership aspect of it. I think what gives PG County it's black wealth, but it may be some other stuff too.
It's all relative. So one, I would say to Kamau and everybody else, please go and watch the conversation we had with Jonathan Hutto, where we really get into this in detail, and the history behind PG and all of that. But the short of it is as Kim pointed out, it is all relative. So you have over the last 50 years, across the country, you have this white people trying to reclaim the European model, where white people reclaim the cities and put all the poor black folks out into the suburbs. So over that time, PG has become increasingly black. They come with all those government jobs. So relative to the rest of the country and rest of the country's black population, they have more wealth. But as the report we also did with the NCRC showed, the the business ownership and the wealth created from those businesses is nothing compared to what you would think it would be given the overriding blackness of the population. They also don't have much political power either, so they don't own the businesses. They don't own they don't control much of the whether it's the processes for schooling or all these other things. All of this is still, largely dominated by more powerful forces. So it's not some black utopia. And the only thing I would correct is that, because we're in the same situation, this home ownership thing is I think a mislabel. It is, we have mortgages. So they have mortgages that they're paying, which they're labeled homeowners, but they're everybody's one check away from being in the street. So it's largely fantasy. But
Prince George's County Police, conversely,
exactly.
Juxtaposed against all this alleged black wealth, PG County
Vicious.
Police have a reputation and a history. I mean, this police department has been, I think, under 2 consent decrees from the federal government over the past 25 or so years. I mean, they are extremely vicious. Like I loathe to interact with Prince George's County Police. And shit, y'all was talking about the situation yesterday where the sister had called the police on, a man because he was, acting strangely, not even acting violently. And I've told the story before on my show. I'll be brief. But when I first moved into my house, I wasn't used to the neighborhood, wasn't used to the sounds of the house. I thought someone was breaking in my house, and I made the mistake of calling PG County Police, and they came to my house and pointed guns at me and my dog, which is why I fully believe in the Second Amendment. I will never call the police to my fucking house ever again. If somebody's ever breaking in my house, I'm just going to shoot the motherfucker. Period, point blank. I would never call the police. And PG County did not make me feel safe that night at all. And I'm sure a lot of residents feel the same.
The views and opinions of Kim Brown, what she just stated, are definitely sanctioned.
Breaking my house, shorty. That's
definitely sanctioned by BPM. We unite with that.
That's on you. In this house, we believe in the Second Amendment, baby.
And we do too, whether we look at it or not. We got our own amendment. We amend the Second Amendment. But I like to say,
what did Red Man say? That red dot on your forehead is not because you Arabian. Watch what you say to him. Now I know he was, he was off with his ethnicities, but it was still funny.
but shout out to the while we talk about being pushed out and gentrification, shout out to the original victims of gentrification here in this country, the natives of this land who got their shit took and were pushed out, while we're talking about our comfort on this particular colony that was colonized prior. So, just want to remind that, because of the fact that sometimes we don't ever want to be looked at as disrespectful to the original inhabitants, because it's like, look, they been took our shit and you ain't say nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? So fuck your couch. You know what I mean? So definitely shout out to the natives of this
Rick James.
Yeah.
Anyway, I see the ear doctors waiting in the wings. Let's bring him
James.
on in here. Speaking of Rick James.
What you mean, speaking of Rick James? Yo, I'm gonna bring the weather report to y'all, get y'all ready for the weekend so y'all can know what y'all gonna do if y'all here or another country. You know how we do. So let's get to it.
That's right. Remix.
There we go. It's the weather report, whether you know it or not. It's the weather report. Yo, what up, everybody? This is the RemiX Morning Show. This is Black Power Media. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. You see, I'm rocking my Puerto Rican colors. Puerto Rico. Anyway, big up to all my hermanos and hermanas out there. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's take it and talk to you about this weather. First of all, hit that like button, subscribe, join, become a part of this movement right here. Go to patreon.com and go to Black Power Media and drop some loot there so we can keep this thing going. Anyway, it's weather time. So where we going to start at? Let's go to Yonkers, New York. Yonkers, New York, big up to the Locks, big up to Mary J. Blige, all the people from Yonkers. High today of 84 degrees. Next, let's take it to Houston, Texas, a.k.a. Houston. I was looking at that word, and I was like, why everybody say Houston? But I guess it's like people say Trenton, and I'm from Trenton, so I say Trenton. I get it. Anyway, Houston, Texas got a high today of 92 degrees. And now let's go to Cockburn Town, Turks and Caicos. Fellas, I don't know if you want to go to a place called Cockburn Town, but that is what it is. Anyway, high today of 85 degrees. Next, let's take it overseas to Freetown, Sierra Leone. They got a high today of 82 degrees. And next, let's go to, y'all ready for this one? Injuncanu, Quebec, Canada. They got a high today of 45 degrees. I'm going to spell that out for y'all. INUKJUAK. Y'all get that one right because I ain't getting it right. Anyway, they got a high today of 45 degrees, and that's colder than a white man. But not just your regular white man. Let me tell you about one real cold white man. He goes by the name of Rodney Dangerfield. Yo, he's born back in 1921. That's damn near the 18th century. He passed in 2004. He was American stand-up comedian, actor, producer, screenwriter, musician, and author. And he was always known for his one-liner, "I don't get no respect around here." So big up to Rodney Dangerfield. Dude even did a hip-hop song. Crazy. Yo, that's your weather for today. Now let's get back to the Remix Morning Show, y'all. Yeah.
Hey, I don't care what anybody says though. Easy Money, the movie Easy Money with Dangerfield and Joe Pesci is a classic. That joint is hilarious. I'm not gonna front.
I want to see Rodney in the verses with what's that other?
I want to see Rodney in a verses. Isn't he dead?
Yeah, he's dead.
You just
you see me the red skeleton.
With Andrew Dice Clay. I would love to see them two in the verses.
Both dead. All of them dead.
No,
Dice Clay still
Dice
here.
is alive. His career is dead.
Sam Kinison. My bad. I'm thinking about Sam Kinison. I thought, my bad. Yes, y'all.
His career is just dead. That's all. But before we go, I mean, what was the name of the city that I can't visit? Is it Cockburn? Was that your thing that you said?
Yeah, Cockburn Town, Turks and Caicos.
I just want to make sure I heard that one. And then I thought the Coded and the White Man, I want to try to produce your segments. I thought you said the Coded and the White Man was about the moderately bad white man, because we don't go overboard with the really bad ones because you want to throw them in the comedy skit.
Listen, man, you got to mix it up. You can't.
You're mixing it up. My bad.
First of all, if we go back to the first meeting, the first production meeting on this topic, it's supposed to be where the smallest populations of Black people are. That was the whole concept behind Colder Than the White Man.
Yeah, and actually before that,
because it was to shout out the handful of Black folks living. So it would be like, for Kim's point, it would be like a weather report for people in Howard County.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out, since my man Ed Doctor is doing the weather, and you did a great job talking about Cockburn and whatever else there you said.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that you stated that you was representing Puerto Rico today with the red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
But I must ask. I see the vest, right?
Don't go there.
I'm just asking. And a short sleeve shirt. So I'm just trying to figure out. You
thought I was
t-shirt and a vest.
Nah, ain't your boy you talking about.
Anyway, nah, you ain't D-Ray, I'm saying.
Hey, but no disrespect. My bad, go ahead. Oh wow.
He's like, I'm tired of y'all.
But the vest and the short sleeves is very I won't speak for all of Latin America as if I could speak for anyone, but in Panama you see that all the time. Cats like the weather thing isn't an issue. Like they want to rock something. Yeah. I'm just saying, I think it's interesting because to me, you're on the equator, son. The sun is on your neck.
Yeah.
But this coat is fly.
Yeah, it's like 182 degrees in Atlanta, so he must be some goddamn well.
But I gotta have his vest on, so I just wear it with short sleeves.
You cool with it? Shit, you rock it. Anyway. Shout out to the doctor, man. You know what I'm saying? Yes, and no, he's not D-Ray. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
he's hanging our way. Goddamn it.
Red vest. He didn't come on here with a blue vest.
He would not disrespect that.
We might have had some words on that one, but anyway.
We definitely would have had some words. So anyway,
that's let's the red the globe and get to some of these news stories we got.
Please, slide of mercy.
Oh, you know what? Can I say real quick? I didn't even do my thing real quick. Forgive me, everybody. I just want to quickly, before we get to Kim's stories, just very quickly. Once again, the story remains the same. My sister Katia Stitt, representing all the people on the underground who do not get properly attended to, who do all the good work. She still needs. We seem to have plateaued here with the help. So I want to make another appeal back to our remixers to get out there, do what you can personally, but at least spread the word and invite someone that, again, you don't have to know her, but that she represents all the people that we don't know, that don't get the attention they deserve. And she continues to need our help. I'm dropping the information in the chat. Once again, please consider whatever you can do. And if not, sharing it, spread the word, and encourage folks to do what they can. Anyway. Thank you very much.
All the more reason we need a whole new system here, Jared, because it is a tragedy that people have to crowdsource their health care. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it's so unacceptable and disgusting. That this is where we are at in this country. So
listen, Kwame Ture used to talk about, how if you give your life to the people, you can go anywhere in the world and be helped. And maybe to a certain extent he was able to, given his notoriety, but people who do just as much work as he was doing, but don't get the notoriety, still need that help, even if they're right here. So right near PG County, the richest Black community in the world.
Allegedly.
Anyway, people, if you can, and if not, spread the word. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Anyway, Kim, you were going to get us started this morning with I don't know. This joint looks looks fascinating right here.
All right. So I saw this. Obviously, I follow Cori Bush, Congresswoman Cori Bush on Twitter, and she had quote tweeted this, talking about qualified immunity. So this is a political piece with the headline: "Lawmakers scrap qualified immunity deal in police reform talks." So we know that the George Floyd Justice and Policing Bill, oh my God, it's such a travesty they named that bill after that man. But anyway, this has been in negotiations in Congress, ways to reform police, which ultimately always end up refunding the police, which is strange. But qualified immunity was at least on the table. Allegedly on the table. And according to this reporter from Politico, even though it has not been officially disclosed, sources are reporting that the qualified immunity is probably going to be removed out of these police reform negotiations. Now, qualified immunity means that police cannot be sued civilly for their misdeeds. Kamau, if I'm giving the most simplistic definition of that, and which is why for police brutality lawsuits, it is always the states or the cities that are paying out the families tens of millions of dollars. The money never ever comes from the police departments themselves, and definitely not from the police officers' personal wealth, if they, whatever they may have. So if qualified immunity is not part of police reform, then what the fuck reform are we even talking about? Because if the police cannot be held personally accountable, personally responsible when they break the law, for when they break constitutional rights and civil rights of those that they are accosting and brutalizing, then your bill has no teeth, which is probably was the plan all along, for the bill to have no teeth, and for the bill to make a way for police to receive more hundreds of millions of dollars in training and resources and equipment and all this other nonsense. So voila.
I mean, this relates to the story you had for us the other day, where we got to see Cori Bush in full defense of the police, if I'm not mistaken, right? Wasn't he defending his party's protection of the police?
Yeah, Cory Booker.
Cory Booker. What I say? I'm sorry, Cory Booker. Sorry. When he was doing his song and dance,
he probably was my baby,
my darling.
Right.
Hello, my ragtime gal.
So this basically just is saying, just to make sure I'm clear and not missing something, qualified immunity just is what protects the police from
civil
being charged with in civil court for whatever they've done.
Yeah.
And I considered it semi-controversial. Is it not controversial? I mean, I'm of two minds on it individually. Again, it's because families sue when someone gets hurt or killed, and or that person sues if someone gets hurt or killed or hurt because, in this society, again, money is what we think makes people more whole, or that's what people think about when they want to try to get whole. Mm-hmm. And if you, as long as the qualified immunity says that you can still sue the city and the state, the city, the police force, and the individual, I think it's a good deal. If it somehow replaces the city with only the individual, then you're talking about people who are basically going to be judgment proof, because you're talking about cops who can never pay the thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars that a settlement and or award can give. So as long as it's, in my estimation, sort of spliced in a way where families, again, who are, or individuals who are looking to get some compensation for their damage, are able to still sue the entity that has the resources, but that may include a certain percentage is tagged on to the individual officer. I think that could make sense. But I think if they somehow replace, and I haven't read the bill, so I don't know the particulars of it, where people talk about ending qualified immunity, if somehow that replaces the entity that is resource rich, as opposed to, some person making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, then I think that also has its own imbalances and issues in terms of what families or people will be expecting in terms of what they see as some justice, I guess.
But so you're saying, sorry, Kim, go ahead.
No, what I was going to say was, I thought that the whole, I guess the thinking behind, qualified immunity as it relates to how this reform negotiations go is that if the police themselves know that they can be individually sued, then maybe they would be disinclined to fuck people up off the break, right? Like they would probably, hopefully, conduct themselves much better because they know that they themselves could be held personally liable for someone's injury. So they would hopefully not injure that person to begin with, or maybe that's a bit pie in the
sky. That's the theory behind it. Yeah. But again, if I get beat up by the cop and I got and I got concussions and broken arms and so forth, and I sue for $1 million, somebody on a $60,000 salary, no matter what you do, that person is going to be considered what's called judgment proof, right? So even if they gave me all their savings, that still is not going to make up for the amount of damage that I may have. That may not even cover my medical bill. So if it's only, that individual who's expected to pay as opposed to some larger entity, then again, on the flip side of someone suggesting that justice is gotten by me getting some compensation, then that flies out the window. So that's all. Yeah. So you're right. That's the theory behind ending qualified immunity.
Man, we need police insurance out here. We need an insurance that protects us in the event of just like we have this car insurance. Police insurance should be a situation we deal with just in case these motherfuckers run up on us and wreck us because of the fact that it's at the end of the day, it's these judgments. Even after the lawyers get their money, even after burial or medical or whatever the case is, in many of these cases, it still don't amount to shit. You know what I'm saying? You still in poverty. You still in a worse situation than you started off in. Now you are more of a target because of the fact that they know you went up against the blue wall, so on and so forth.
And I thought, like in Baltimore, I thought the police in Baltimore have paid out millions in like abuse. So I know it's not from the individual police, but even with all of these payouts, it doesn't stop anything. No. So the people obviously aren't healed from the trauma of having gone through it, even if they get a check. But it doesn't stop anything. The police keep going on. It doesn't, like, they're happy. It's like when corporations pay a fine for the cost of doing business. It's like,
right. Because where's the money coming from?
Major cities hold off. They hold off some of their, they have, budgetary allocations for civil damages by the police. New York City was famous for that. They would rather settle than, they would do a calculation. What's cheaper for us to take it to trial or to settle it straight out? And so their budget allocations included resources for civil liability, particularly around their police officers, because they knew the brutality that they'd be dealing out. And so it wasn't a way, so as opposed to thinking about correcting it, of course, right? The idea was like, yeah, it's going to happen, so let's just pay people off and shut them up.
I mean, it's the taxpayers are paying the damn money anyway. So it's like you have this endless faucet where you can fuck somebody up. That's like if you gave me the right to just go smack the shit out of everybody I don't like, and I don't have to worry about, any type of repercussion, and cats are just gonna keep funneling the money out. Then I mean, it's like, why stop? Why stop now? The situation we talked about yesterday with the man with the dog chewing his shoulder off, man. I mean, this shit is like, they come with this attitude of, and we already know this. I mean, we talk about this shit all the time. It's just like, boom, we're at war with these motherfuckers. Let's deal with them. As soon as he comes, it's like, I'm happy to sick my dog in this motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, Kim has also brought us, I think you said this is a little bit on the lighter side, this other story.
Okay, well, it's not a story. Hold on.
or whatever it is that we're about to deal with here.
It's not a story. This is a tiny bit of comic relief. So, guys, I'm sure everyone has seen the pictures and the images of these school board meetings across the country, really everywhere, from California to Texas to Pennsylvania to Florida, Tennessee, Georgia. Parents are showing up. White parents are showing up at these school board meetings, irate as hell that their children are being mandated to wear masks in school, of course, to stem the transmission of the COVID-19 Delta variant, which is absolutely infecting kids. ICU beds are filling up, etc. I don't have to go down that. But anyway, there is this comedian. His name is Brett Terhune, and I discovered him last year during the pandemic, because he's hilarious. Like, he be frying these white people in a satirical way. It's very funny. And here is comedian Brett Terhune imitating white parents at the school board meeting.
I could quote the Bible for a minute. You people do know the Bible, don't you? It's the book where the snake talks. But it says everything we need to know about masks right here. Fallopians 3:16. Regeneron. Hydroxychloroquine expialidocious. And what's the deal with new math, huh? What was wrong with the old math? I'm the loudest, and that means I'm the smartest. Since when does the school board get to decide stuff about education? Who do you people think you are? Look at you, snickering behind your mask. Who do you think you are? My kid's teacher? Well, what's your name, Miss Information? You could not perform at a high level while wearing a mask. Ask any surgeon out there. I don't even co-parent with my ex-wife. You think I'm going to co-parent with the government? I don't think so. If me not wearing a mask means I can't go to my kid's 3-hour Christmas concert, that one's all right with me.
Word up.
He said,
amen on that last one.
He's not even co-parent with my ex-wife. He's a co-parent with the state.
He is funny. He is funny. Like good. He does a really good job. He zeroes in on that rednecky culture and the absurdity of some of the shit that comes out of their mouth. So Brett Terhune, y'all, big red beard, like fuck with him because he's funny out here.
Brett Terhune needs his own news show.
Yes, he does.
That was good. That was pretty good. Yes. I'm very tempted to say that, speaking of comedy, we have this next story, but I'm just gonna. I don't even mean to be. I couldn't even help that. But let's just check this out. I'm very curious to see what people think about this.
Greetings, family. This is Tariq Nasheed. I am your community servant. Right now, I am in South Los Angeles on the world-famous Crenshaw Boulevard. And with your help, we want to build the first ever hidden history museum right here in the Leimert Park area of Los Angeles, which is the cultural epicenter of Black Los Angeles. Right here on Crenshaw Boulevard, right here, there's an empty lot for sale, and it's in the perfect location for our hidden history museum. We want to acquire this lot so that we can build your community museum. There's museums that touch on Black history, but they don't get too deep into it. This will be the first grassroots owned and controlled Black history museum in the world. In our museum, we want to touch on a lot of things that are not touched on in other museums. There's such vast history of Black people here in Los Angeles that we're going to touch on alone. For example, Pio Pico, who was the once governor of California. There's a street, Pico Boulevard, named after him. He had Black ancestry. Francisco Reyes, who was the first mayor of Los Angeles, he had Black ancestry. The grandmother of Los Angeles, Benny Mason, who was a former slave who became the wealthiest woman in California. We're going to talk about a lot of this stuff in the museum. Also in the museum, we're going to have 5 basic sections. We're going to have a master teacher section where we talk about the teachings of John Henry Clark, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Amos Wilson. We're going to have another section for Black inventors. We're going to talk about the Black people who invented things like the modern refrigeration system, the modern toilet system, the modern home security system, and so much more. We're also going to have a section talking about Black explorers. We're going to talk about people like Estevanico the Moor, who was very instrumental in discovering a lot of spaces here in the North American continent. Speaking of Moors, we're going to talk about the Black Moors who conquered Southern Europe. The Black Moors are never talked about in museums. This is going to be the first time it's talked about in our museum. We're also going to have a section talking about Black rebel leaders, like the Black Seminoles, like other Black Maroons. We're also going to have a section talking about the real history of Black music, particularly the foundation of Black American history of
How
hip-hop.
much?
I produced a lot of documentary films, including the hidden
$7+ million.
So a lot of things that's in our documentary films are going to be featured in the museum.
Wow.
And speaking of the films, we're going to have a screening room upstairs in the museum where we can screen our films on a regular basis. We're also going to have large meeting rooms where we can have conferences and community events for the people. Not only will this museum be a great cultural institution, this museum is going to be a great tourist attraction that will help revitalize a lot of the Black businesses that are already here. But family, we need your help. We need at least $7 million to get this project completed. And we're going to start doing everything in stages. We need at least $1 million in the first phase to get the museum project off the ground so we can acquire the land. Everybody who contributes to the museum, we're going to have a wall in the museum with the names of all the
put all that
so
shit in
your
that
name
lot.
is going to be built into the foundation of the museum. So we need you to get involved.
I mean, you got to, if you build it in floors.
So everybody get involved. Let's make history. Let's take control of our own community and our own history.
What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I need to be a huckster. I need a huckster. Suit and tie, B.
You said
he already some video graphics and he raised $1 million.
He raised
some video
graphics.
$1 million.
How quickly did he raise that million, Jared? I'm just curious.
I'm not sure. It just says, should it tell me somewhere on here? I'm not sure.
When did this call out go out? Is this recent?
And did he say some Black explorer discovered spaces in North America? Was that as particular as he got when he said that? He said my man discovered spaces in North.
You know what? I don't see.
He didn't name one goddamn place. He said he discovered some spaces.
Yo, listen.
Yeah, my bad. I don't see a start date on this.
Okay.
But,
are people in the chat are telling us about 4 weeks ago that perhaps that began? You raised $1 million in 4 weeks. Which one of y'all sent Tariq Nasheed some money? Show yourself. I want to know who you are.
Somebody in that chat. There's too much money raised. Somebody in this chat.
I was going to say the juxtaposition between that and where Katia is with her medical bills is kind of I know that's just one person versus he's building something for the people, but it's
he ain't building shit for the people. What are you talking? Don't use that language.
I'm just reporting I'm just reporting the morning news.
All the news.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
I don't even know like what the fuck to say about this. This is like
so
this. Not even him, the state, the mind state and mindset of our people that you keep giving these motherfucking charlatans your money. And then we run around talking about what we need. I mean, it's like basic real shit. Real folks out in the community doing real shit. This motherfucker is talking, if he builds this museum, these fucking stolen relics and artifacts, we don't even know what the hell he's gonna have in it. We're just gonna have some posters, some books and DVDs and shit. I mean, the fact that shit, I'm fucked up. I mean, wow. I mean,
y'all think he's gonna get that $7 million?
Yes,
I do
because
now.
Because people fucked up.
I do now.
I mean, look at Umar. Umar got a invisible school. He'll have a school board, a number 2 pencil. He'll have a chalkboard. All he got is
he did. I thought he did get a building.
I mean, this motherfucker don't even have a website, G. Listen, the building. I mean, he got an empty. Man,
I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it fast enough.
But this dude did a promo video. He did a promo video for an imagination. He just sold people a serious dream, a multi-million-dollar dream. What is Black Power Media doing wrong? Because we fucking up.
Yeah, I gotta get my Twitter game up or something. I gotta get. I gotta get my.
First of all, you gotta. Like many things. First of all, just to be, I know there's jokes here, but we have to understand, like he's not just coming out of nowhere. As he said, he produced all those documentaries. He's produced these books. He has rebranded himself for a few decades now, and kept himself in the mind's eye of significant segments of our community. So when he comes back with this, for a lot of us, when we watch the Hidden Colors or segments of the Hidden Colors, we're saying, I would say, I'll speak for myself, what is new here? What you are presenting us or representing us, the people who sat at the feet of those some of us are studying and have done research about. So but he packaged it in a way that introduces things to new people in a way that makes himself seem. My biggest issue is with the concept of the museum itself, a museum, like the politics of what a museum is. And there's been some great work on this that I couldn't pull up fast enough for this morning, but maybe I'll do something for tomorrow. But the museum is political. I talked about this before. One of the reasons why I stepped back from an invitation I got some years ago to support the hip hop Smithsonian thing is because when it signifies, I think Kalonji, you said this, or somebody said it this morning, it signifies the death or the entombment of something that has been captured and being presented. If you look at the history and the relationship of museums between the colonizers and the rest of the world, like my former teacher, Ayeli Bakari, used to talk about, all of the colonizers, they build their museums and their metropoles off of what they stolen from Africans.
Of course.
So, all around. So like to support that process would be, in this case, to suggest that hip hop has been dead and conquered and deserves that, or in this sense that our history has been killed and conquered. That's why I have a problem with the whole thing in DC, the bigger museum in DC that has been so championed. This is, to me, this is not. Anyway, so when
is that what we really, like you said, is that what we really need? Is that what the people need? Do we need a museum? Do we need another motherfucking building to show what has been stolen? Do we need to be reminded who were the first Black capitalists or folks who wanted to be capitalists? You know what I'm saying? Aspiring capitalists. Is that what the fuck we need right now? You know what I'm saying? Is this going to take us closer to revolution? Is this going to change anything? Imagine in Afghanistan, motherfuckers talking about opening up a museum in the middle of war. All of us running around, Black folks talking about we're in the middle of war. You got police terrorism. You got all kinds of shit. Hell, we got YouTube. You don't have to, anything you want to find right now, you can find on the internet. You're going to pay this motherfucker because of the fact that it's going to be a fee, and it's going to be a big fee for you to walk your ass up in this museum to do what? To take some pictures, to say you was there? I mean, this shit is crazy, man. It's like, yo.
Go ahead, Kim. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Kamal. Because all I was going to say was Tariq Nasheed and Umar Johnson is just like Creflo Dollar and Jabal Bryant. Like all these niggas just got their hand out and they are receiving. But go ahead.
They're smarter than them.
No. Because although I appreciate I think the political concepts of the museum, I just think y'all going too deep. This is a hustle. This ain't about no damn museum that's never going to get built.
It's a parking lot.
Save that for a real. Save that analysis for a real museum that's actually built or going to get built. Yeah. Ain't no museum getting built with no money he's collecting. That's going in his pocket.
Fair enough.
That's going to his next suit or his next car or his next house. It's not going in no damn. He don't even got the lot. He's raising money for a lot that he don't even have yet. That he don't even own yet. He just decided to stand next to a lot
and make a video,
pictures. Right. And he hired somebody and paid him probably $300 or $400 to do video graphics. That's what he's done.
Right.
That's what this dude has done.
And you fell in love with
he's serious about it. He's probably got enough money from all the other films and everything else he's done to lay some money on it to say, like, I just got a mortgage on this lot. and the boom, boom, boom.
Now,
But that's
your
not the
GoFundMe
point.
don't have no
I
$1
mean, the point of it is that he sat in his room, he was getting high, and he's like, "What's my next hustle?" The museum shit is kicking, B. Everybody wants a museum these fucking days.
Yo, this nigga got a school. I'm about to get a museum.
The hidden black.
Although Kim,
history.
I don't like Kamal. I don't like that Kamal's putting this decision on the herb, man. Don't blame the good.
Disrespect the herb.
You know what I'm saying? Don't disrespect it like that.
My bad. I don't disrespect the herb. My bad.
Thanks for that, Jed. I was falling for it too.
You know what I'm saying?
You're wrong for that, Kamal.
Not the herb.
Maybe the opium from Afghanistan. Let's say that.
But that liquor, that non-Uncle Nearest bottle he was drinking. He must be drinking that other stuff,
Japanese bourbon. Yeah, but listen. I mean, I'm thinking about doing a GoFundMe for a cemetery because of the fact that black folks we definitely dying. You know what I'm saying? And our minds are definitely dead. So I can see it would make more sense for me to actually say, okay, boom, we're gonna build this revolutionary black cemetery, and you know what I'm saying, we want everybody to put the money into this. At least you know for sure that we're gonna die, and that lot can be turned into that. You know what I'm saying?
That. But no, let's go further. We're going to put headstones of black revolutionaries so you can come and stand there and feel the spirit.
That's right.
Of the revolutionaries.
That's right. And
all we need is $14 million. That's
right.
To buy some land, make a gate, and get some fake headstones. But it's going to cost $14 million.
That's right. So
I don't like how he is using Crenshaw in South Central Los Angeles as sort of like a prop in this. You know, these businesses need revitalization. Well, nigga, if you're raising $7 million, why don't you personally revitalize the businesses? You don't have to build a museum. Is not necessarily going to do that, and certainly not going to do that in any expedited amount of time. If black businesses are struggling in your neighborhood and you just raised $1 million, well, it seems like to me you have the solution to help these black businesses out immediately.
Yeah, it's like
Woo. To your point, just very quickly to your point about what's still going on out here. This story is also coming out that Milwaukee killed their second person this summer. Milwaukee police, that is, killed their second person this summer. The story is about 100 members of Milwaukee community gathered near 26th and Wright Streets looking for answers for the shooting death of Roderick Shelton Jr. It's unknown publicly who the officers involved were, nor why Shelton was shot by police. But just again, to your point, these incidents and more continue to happen. I just saw another story that we probably should have brought up for this morning, but the continuing crisis in Flint around water. I mean, all kinds of stuff is still, like, all kinds of crazy stuff is still happening. And we're talking about, well, some are wanting to focus on raising money for, something other than what would bring us some political power. That's the other thing. I mean, I just keep looking for the political power in all of this and not seeing it. So anyway, I just wanted to, and then also, by the way, we also want to be mindful. We all, keeping track just in general of what's happening. And the death toll is soaring in terms of the aftermath of another earthquake in Haiti. I mean, there's plenty of problems in the African world. I know Tariq doesn't necessarily see us as part of that diaspora. And if I'm not mistaken, he's even trademarked foundational Black Americans. If I'm not mistaken, he had a battle with the other hashtag folks, the reverse soda folks over putting a trademark on these labels. But for those of us who do see ourselves as part of a diaspora and are concerned and recognize the political and historical importance of Haiti, this is still going on as well. So
yes,
anyway,
definitely love and support to our people over in Haiti. You know what I'm saying? It seems like, man, it's a constant struggle. You know what I'm saying? People in the Congo, people all over the planet. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to y'all, man. And I think that on a serious note, some of these folks, man, we have these situations like what's going on in Haiti. We have these situations like what's going on all over Africa and over in the Caribbean. And we have all these issues, and folks are talking about bullshit. That has to be in a, we have to be able to, in a principled manner, address this shit and deal with it and figure out how are we gonna get our people back? Because of the fact that I'm concerned. I think that anyone that promotes and or supports these type of charlatan ventures, they definitely need a head check. So, you know, either you are possessed on some weird shit, or, you know what I'm saying, mentally we have the elevator's not going up that far, or this is the first thing that you ran across.
What makes them different than these prosperity preachers? Like, that's why I said Jamal Bryant and Creflo Dollar. I don't see a difference between Jamal Bryant and Creflo Dollar and Umar Johnson's and Tariq Nasheed's. Like, they are just the same niggas in different suits running a different brand of grift on black people.
But you know,
one
the difference,
the Christian grift, one is the whatever the fuck grift.
The difference between Umar and Tariq and these prosperity preachers is Umar and Tariq have no overhead. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers, Umar is a traveling preacher himself. That's what he does. He goes around, he collects his money, whatever. He has to, you know, promote a big program and get his money. So no, there is no difference. So we talking about anybody that's not building towards our survival, towards our liberation, towards revolution. You know what I mean? I mean, you have to look at it.
So as I know we're getting ready for the ear doctor, I just want to keep plugging this concept of the after party, which for me is, again, just a broad political umbrella to try to refocus us on some of what is important. We don't even have to agree on a lot to get focused on just some core political principles and core political platform planks to get us on the same page, where we can start to do for our purposes what Tariq and Umar and others are doing for theirs. I mean, there's, you know, all that he has done, if we look at it a different way, is he's laid out a certain baseline, bright line set of issues, museum, focus on certain elements of Black history, et cetera, and so forth, that has a large base of support. If we do the same thing politically, I think we can offer up some degree of an antidote, which is the only antidote I think we have to these individual efforts. Anyway, I mean,
but speaking of elevated, discredited, like there's not enough discrediting going on. You feel me? Like these people have to be exposed for exactly what they are and what they have done and what they have not done. And I don't think there's enough of that going around, because people don't want to pick fights with people with very huge platforms, right? Like Tariq Nasheed can send a troll army into your mentions and ruin your whole social media day, you know, for days going forward. So I think there's just a real reluctance to call these people out for what they are and who they are.
Yeah, about to see you all out on Twitter.
After today, I would delete Twitter. Kiss my ass.
I'll just right on. Anyway, ear doctor in the sun, elevated for us.
What's up, hey, I'm doing a fundraiser. I'm trying to raise enough money to get everybody some invisible vests like this. So what you want to do is you want to go to my Cash App and send it to $. Got him.
Got him.
And I got you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Yo, we're gonna do an artist spotlight, so let's get to it, y'all.
Let's go.
I need an invisible vest myself. Shit, I'm with you.
Remix.
Yo, what's good? What's good, everybody? This is the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, and we doing a artist spotlight like we do it this time. And like I said, you can get your invisible vest like this. Nah, I'm just playing. Anyway, we ain't gonna get you like that, man. We all about the people and all about giving you good news. So with that said, I'm gonna give you a good artist that came up on a Renegade Culture show a while back. So I want you to check him out. He goes by the name of Ken the Misfit. So check us out. He about to drop it right here, right now. So show your love right here. And we're going to do it like this. Bam.
Block out. I ain't never been high like this. I don't even want to come down. Kind of figure from the first hit that it wouldn't be the last time. I always feel like I always need it. Always thinking about it when I don't. I keep telling myself I start over tomorrow, but we both know that I won't. 'Cause every drug is the next best. It's the next best. It's the next best. Hey, it's the next best. It's the next best to you. Pills can't give me the feeling, and the weed can't give me your high. 'Cause every drug is the next best to you. If you gon' keep on supplying that shit, then I'm probably gon' OD. 'Cause I can't never get enough of it. You got me feeling like you own me. Whoa, whoa. But I kinda love it like I need it. And I'm always thinking about some more. I keep telling myself I start over tomorrow, but we both know that I won't. Every drug is the next best. It's the next best. It's the next best. Hey, it's the next best. It's the next best to you. Pills can't give me the feeling, and the weed can't give me your high. 'Cause every drug is the next best to you. They say that I may need some help.
Come on.
I put my common sense up on the shelf. That thing you do, you know you do it well. And I'm relapsing, here I go again. Yeah. Every drug is the next best. It's the next best. It's the next best. Hey, it's the next best. It's the next best to you. Whoa. Pills can't give me the feeling, and the weed can't give me your high. 'Cause every drug is the next best to you. Look at me, I think I need some help. They say I put my common sense up on the shelf. That thing you do, you know you do it well. I'm relapsing, here I go again. Every drug is the next best. It's the next best. It's the next best. Hey.
Yeah. So that's what it is. That's Ken the Misfit right there. So check it out. Go to one of the Renegade Culture playlists on Black Power Media and check out that. That's Ken the Misfit. That's your artist spotlight for the day. Remix Morning Show. Let's get back to the crew. Yeah.
I love it.
No doubt.
Whether rapping or singing, nobody is over vocals here at the Remix from Renegade Culture. I love
that dude can sing too, man. He got some skills. You can hear the different octaves he was hitting. I was like, all right. So had to give us some shine.
Definitely shout out to Ken the Misfit, smooth R&B.
Reminded me of Mario.
I can hear that. I can definitely hear that. That Baltimore.
I remember we asked him who his GOAT was, who his favorite artist was.
Oh.
And I think what did he say? What's dude's name? From Martin. Carl. What's his name?
Carl.
What's the dude's name on Martin?
Carl Payne. How was that his favorite artist? Singer?
Music Soul Child. Carl Payne reminds me of Music Soul Child.
Oh wow. Okay.
That was a big. Okay.
I always call him the same dude.
That's how you went. You went all the way over there to get
all the way over there. Like, this is what we do around here. You know what I'm saying? We keep the circle. Keep the circle unbroken. Y'all can't tell me that Carl Payne and goddamn is that cockroach? That's not cockroach. Is that cockroach?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cockroach is Music Soul Child. Nah. Bam. Cole. That's his name. Cole. Anyway. I need Balagoon.
I want to get my training on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's go. I'm about to turn the camera off and get busy over here.
Let's go.
Okay.
Will be
showing you the technique of the week. All right. Monday, Jared has showed a video of a riot, and was that Tuesday? I believe that was Tuesday, actually. He showed a video of a riot, and it got violent, right? And he said, I'm wondering what Baba Balagoon would do, and that gave me the idea for this episode. Okay, number one, you want to avoid, if at all possible, anywhere where there's going to be violence like that. So if there's an event and the Proud Boys are there, and it's not a place that you probably want to be.
That's the highest level of self-defense.
Avoidance. The highest level of self-defense, right? You don't want to be somewhere Proud Boys, and they screaming F Antifa, F Black Lives Matter, like these are some, major organization, terrorist cells or something. Man, come on, man. And the Proud Boys are terrorists themselves. Anyway, we're going to deal with, if you can't avoid the situation, how certain things you should handle. Now, handle a riot situation. Think of a riot situation as a multiple attacker situation, because it certainly is, right? And everybody has to work together. So if you're going out there with a bunch of people you haven't trained with, you're in danger. All right. So you should have comrades with you that you don't just know, you train with, so you know how to move. Because if you're moving this way and they're not, they're just in your way, because people are going to be, you're in the midst of stuff. If you're in the middle, you look around and there are people that are not your comrades all around, you already put yourself in danger. Okay. Know how to move. So right now, let's say if I'm dealing with the two of them, okay, I'm dealing with Cody, I'm dealing with Belay. Well, not Cody, yeah, and let's pretend Belay is a Cody Whiteman himself.
Exactly.
You cannot deal with multiple attackers.
Bruce Lee did in movies.
Yeah, in movies, and that's where that shall remain, right? You cannot deal with multiple attackers. You can deal with one person multiple times, though. Okay. So what I want to do is stack both of them. I cannot deal with them in this situation. I shouldn't even talk to them that way, where the two of them are right here. One could flank me, and now I'm looking at him, and then he's cracking me in the back of my neck, hitting me in my brain stem, and ending it, okay? So I want to stack them. You have to make a decision in that when you're going to stack. So who is the biggest threat? Who is closest to you? Who has a weapon in their hand, which we call a tool? That becomes part of your decision making. Because if he had a broken bottle in his hand, I would probably deal with him first. You say, why don't you deal with the empty hand guy? Because as I'm dealing with him, all he has to do is grab me. I'm not going to make that easy, but he could grab me. It's possible. And then he just cuts me up. So I would deal with him first. It depends on what's going on, right? So the two of them are together. They're talking mess. I move myself off. Right? He begins to face me, and if he doesn't, I just knock him out. He begins to face me. Once he begins to face me like this, now I'm good. I'm where I want to be, because now we're stacked. Now I'm dealing with him, and he's back there. And if he begins to move, I begin to move him. I take him, boom, hit him. I hit him, and then move him. Hit him. Now I take him here. If it's just one other person, I probably would just knock him out and deal with him. But I'm confident enough to. If you're not confident enough for that, take him, hold him. Now I'm using it as what's called a barrier. We call it barriers, right? I'm using him. If there are multiple people, though, you got to watch. Make sure you watch your back so you're always ready to move if I had to. But I got to keep him at bay. Whole time, hitting him with elbows, hitting him with knees, hitting him with elbows, grabbing him close. That way. If he falls because I'm just tearing him up. Don't hold him up, then just let him go. And now you go at that one. He's done, and now I got him. That's 2. If it's more people, it's going to require you to move. You got to be constantly moving. You can't be in place. And if you say, I'm out of shape, I can't do it, the key is to get in shape to the best of your ability. I'm not in the best shape that I should be. I'm in fighting shape, though. Okay? But also don't sit here and tell me your adrenaline, your Ashe, Jesus, or nothing going to drive you to win this fight. You got to drive you to win that fight. Don't tell me Ogun is going to win the fight. You're Ogun. Okay? So you have to make sure you can do all you can. If you have physical, we won't say this, if you're differently abled, then you have to work to the best of your ability. Okay? If you're dealing with people that are different sizes, someone's very short, that may not be the person you want to take because they seem like an easier person to deal with, because if I take them and I get behind them, I'm so much taller than them, they're not a barrier against them. So now I'm holding them, they're down here, and he can still hit me. That's not a good barrier for me, okay? If it's the only person I can get to, I just have to deal with that, okay? At least he can't just rush me. So once again, stack the people that you're dealing with, okay? You cannot fight multiple people, be between them. Don't let your ego guide you. Don't sit here and he's talking mess and you talking mess. Yeah, so-and-so, yeah, Black Power matters. And this dude just cracks me. Because that's usually how it goes. People talking junk to each other. And they got, you fight me, you fight me, you fight me. And then the person turns to him. And now this person, because sometimes they're not coordinated themselves, sometimes they are. And he can say, fight me. I turn, he pulls out his knife, he sticks me in my doggone liver. So don't get into that. Say, hey, stay back, stay back. I don't want no problems with either of y'all. I don't want no problems with either of y'all. Now I've already moved there to this position. If he now steps back to make it where they're side by side again, I know I got a problem. You know we trained. Because they're trained. Because that's exactly what we would do. I'm like, look, sir, so-and-so, you're going to have to leave. And I see him moving like that to stack us. I take that step back. Now we're side by side with each other against him again. Now he's got to start thinking, he's got to re-strategize. Well, you would too. If he moves back, and now you're dealing side by side, try it again and pull a tool if you have it. Now you're really in the shit now. Okay. Once that comes out, don't just put it back up. You're not pulling that to threaten. Get back. Get back. This isn't TV. This isn't pretend. Once you pull that out, you start going to work. But if you pull that out, they pull that, there's two, you got a problem. That's why you got to pull it, hit, and then you go. Now, when I say you pull your tool, that can be your marker. I'm not telling nobody on this platform to pull out a knife. But that's all you got, if you carry a gun to something that could be a possible riot, you're not the most intelligent person in the world, to be honest with you. I pull out a firearm anytime. I shoot. I got comrades around. This one's gonna go bad probably. Because if I stack him and I shoot him, he takes off and my energy's up and I try to hit him too before you can go and warn his comrades and my comrades are right there. Bad day. Especially if I do hit him and he runs into my comrades, which would be the smart thing to do. Because he's probably going to leave here anyway, run into the comrades and start beating them. Now I can't shoot, or if I'm not trained well, I do shoot and hit somebody else. There's a coalition that don't F around out here. There's a coalition that's not effing around. They don't F around, but they do shoot each other sometimes because they're not trained well enough. So when you have, if there are people waiting in the wings and they see you all shooting each other, oh, now they coming for you. They know you're weak. And also remember that the police are going to be around there too. They ain't helping you, but they will harm you if they see that you're pulling the firearm, shooting, and now they're coming for you. Okay, so try to use melee tools, hand-to-hand tools, if at all possible. All right. A riot is a dangerous situation. I'm actually dealing with that. I'm writing this book now, Warrior Class Book 1, and part of that, a large section, is dealing with riots and how to handle them. I can only deal so much in this time, but we will be visiting this more, and I'll bring in more and more of my students so you can see how I would handle if there were 10 people and it was just me, or if it was 3 of us, 7 of them. How do you handle that? How do you coordinate that? Or it's me and one of my children or something like that. How would I handle that in a situation? Number one, I would never bring my child to a demonstration, a riot or anything that could turn into a riot, possibly. To be honest, I wouldn't do it. You may do it. I see many people, they had their babies in the strollers and they got them. But if something breaks out, now what are you going to do? And you got a baby in a stroller, you gonna leave the baby start fighting? That baby's in danger. If the fight breaks out and one of those people that's your adversary kicks that stroller, you're gonna lose your mind. And now you are fighting and you still left the baby, and then somebody kicks the baby again. They start stomping the baby because they knocked it out the stroller. Now what are you gonna do? How workful are you? How much work do you have to your comrades now? And you turn and see that. You say, I'll kill them all. But how valuable are you now? When you say, I'll kill them all, they're going to kill you because your mind is going to be so focused either on saving that baby from getting stomped or killing that person that stomped them, and then somebody's going to take you out of here. So don't take your child, if possible, to an event that could turn into a riot. Yeah, I said it. All right. Love y'all. Have a great day. Peace. Stay black.
I love those segments, man. Big shout out to Balagoon and the whole Warrior Class crew. We watch all of that stuff. I watch the stuff with my daughters. We talk about it all the time. I did bring my oldest with me when we went to the Mumia rally in Philly a couple months back. And I admit I felt a level of tension I'm not used to. I was on a level of high alert. I was uncomfortable. I mean, I wanted her to experience it, but at the same time, I was like, boy, oh boy. Yeah. But anyway, definitely appreciate that segment. And hey, I'm good because I knew step one, don't be there. Come on, told my daughters, when you see groups of white folks with American flags, that's a no zone. That's a no-go zone. Anyway, sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, I've introduced my kids to rally, some like I actually, even before my niece, I remember I took when she was probably no more than 7 or 8 to a rally. And then I think this was like a pro-Palestine or support rally. And it was by some relatively speaking moderate group, because I started shouting like, all Palestine for like something like all Palestine for all Palestinian people. And then some dude tried to shush me and say something like, that's not what we're here for. Which of course I go like, you don't tell me what the fuck I'm I got my niece, traumatizing her because she's like, what the hell is going on? So I had to go get her some like fast food later on and like chill her out or something like that. I was like, my bad. But
it can get real quick.
Yeah. Particularly if like you in it, as opposed to like, let me take my knees and back off. Like, ah! So
yeah, I appreciate these episodes, man. I think that they're going by much quicker these days. And it is so much information that's needed, especially in this time, and that's the beauty of when we talk about urban survival preparedness, because of the fact that with the whole self-defense or even, taking an offensive stance, you have to be able to think. And that's the thing. It's not just about fighting. You got to be able to figure out how the fuck am I going to maneuver through this shit? You know what I mean? So shout out to Brallo Goon and like you said, Warrior Class. And we have an announcement we're going to be making a little bit later on, which involves Brallo Goon for this Sunday. So yeah, on the RemiX.
Yes, okay.
Yes,
all right. Yes. Surprise.
You know it.
Anyway, Warrior Class is Saturdays at 1:00, no doubt. And folks should check them out. And if you've missed them, please go back. They're invaluable. You got to have it. And just even those basic points. Don't be there. Don't panic. Try to get them in a line if it's more than one. All of that stuff is valuable. I mean, it's essential stuff. So definitely appreciate that. And definitely appreciate the ear doctor who's back again with us for another segment. What's going on, sir?
Everything's everything. Came to bring y'all another quick artist spotlight and keep it moving. You know how we do.
Are you on a grill?
Is
that your apron? I was trying to is that your grill outfit?
I got my apron on. I be shuffling it up, yo. Don't sleep on my skills, B. I do it all.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Making a pizza.
Show me.
Hey, that too.
Remix.
Yeah. Welcome out, everybody, to the RemiX Morning Show. Real quick, we got another artist spotlight we want to get to. And this spotlight goes out to all the poets out there. We have another poet that came and brought down the house on Renegade Culture. So we want to give him his shine real quick. And this brother goes by the name of Tommy Bottom. So check him out, y'all.
There's too much news speak in my news feed. So believe it, the nonsense, it don't move me. Especially when I know that the media delivery trying to mislead and deceive me. I mean, just because you put gluten-free vegan cheese over bovine feces, you do not think that you can fool me. See, Orwell already wrote this book. I'm just watching the movie. That's when my timeline looked more and more like 1984, doom and gloomy. That's because the social media algorithm got everybody in their feelings thinking anybody with a different opinion is nothing more than the comic book supervillains. The words of the spirit are considered offensive. You're the copyright infringement. Fuck it. You can sue me. But it's important that I warn you that you might want to hire a lawyer whose mouthpiece is a beast, not the ordinary warrior. I'm a superhuman word freak. Like Adina Howard meets John Keats, the sheep asleep. So I'm going to have to tiptoe around a few top topics to make sure they don't wake up cranky, outraged, and angry. I know this sounds crazy, but shh. It's important to keep whispering because Big Brother might be listening. And they little sister serious, she always snitching the auntie Alexa. Well, for some reason, that chick is always in the kitchen. To me, that seems suspicious because she always act like she ain't doing nothing. But trust me, she paying attention. Not to mention she got plenty of media minutes who manufacture the vision, shape public opinion, and keep the people confused. I mean, they got the news, they can try to entertain you while the comedians give you the news. And that's why they call it a media circus. Because the joke is on us. Because in the age of the absurd, the clowns are laughing at us. And that's the very reason why I say fuck all that doom and gloom in my timeline. As far as I'm concerned, is by far the best time to be alive. The age of the absurd. 2 + 2 = 5, and anyone with unmitigated nerve to yell out the answer is 4 might get punched in his eye. So now you got to brush up on your boxing, discuss topics with logic, make sure your opinions are popular before you discuss them in public. Might get kicked out the cookout for your hat chance and get drunk with your cousin. You're like, yo, cuz, I thought we was cool. We just kicked it last week. Yeah, cuz, but that was last week before you sent out that fucked up tweet. You didn't even apologize, and now we can't speak. But between you and me, what you said was kind of deep, and I actually kind of agree. But I ain't trying to get kicked out the cookout, nigga, so it's better you than me. Oh, trust me, fam, I understand. I know exactly how I be. See, on one hand, I like sweet tea and mac and cheese. On the next, man, But it just ain't in me to take the DCPC don't speak seriously. See, I'm too intellectually curious to be worried about who Twitter is feeling me, or who unfollow me, delete me, retweet me, ban me, bar me, block me, not giving a fuck worth $1 million or advise you about stocking me. Because I'm gonna sell high, I'm gonna buy low, I'm gonna damn near double your portfolio. Every time I act like an asshole to the egghead, to the bozos, they pseudo intellect combo, knock down them clowns like dominoes, like whoa. See, the primary intention of the First Amendment is to properly protect the offensive. That's the only way the average Joe can go up and get a status quo and not have to worry about coming up missing or sent off to a re-education camp or prison sentence. Don't think it can't happen. It's been well documented. I mean, ask any authoritarian to tell you that their tyranny is typically well intended with good intentions. If you don't, you listen and obey. Make sure you understand the truth is whatever they say. But I got too much Kunta Kinte in my DNA just to shut up and obey. So can't just tweet about it. You got to beat it out before I just shut up and obey. Thank God.
All right. So that's what it is right there. That is another artist spotlight. Brother goes by the name of Tommy Bottoms. So go check him out, Tommy Bottoms on Instagram. All right. Let's get back to the morning crew. Yeah.
No doubt. Shout out to Tommy Bottoms.
Jackson flow.
Yeah, Tommy Bottoms. That was hot.
Tommy Bottoms is a renowned poet. He's one of the original folks from the whole Def Poetry piece. He's been on a number of different programs and everything from BET to CNN and all types of different things, whatever. He's right here in Atlanta, but he's definitely a dope poet. We bump heads politically at times because he rolls with Shelley Winters. Shout out to Shelley Winters, the Black Republican. That's his partner.
Right. That's
you know
right. I remember that dude. That's like,
otherwise, you know what I'm saying?
That's a big otherwise, but
yeah, it's a big otherwise.
It's a huge otherwise.
Yeah.
And folks got to go see that episode.
About him getting kicked out the barbecue probably because he said some pro-Trump shit and people are like,
there you go.
You got to go. People really got to go see that episode, man. That's one of the best, most funny, wild episodes of Renegade Culture. When your man was up there with Ben Dixon and Noah Changa. Yes. Good God. I thought
the most classic is Kamal. This my show. This my show. This my show.
Oh, you want to see some beige rage?
I thought we edited that out. I thought we edited that out. What's wrong with y'all?
And then Kamal gonna say, yo, he gonna tell dude, he said, look, man, shut up, I'm gonna have to hit you in your mouth or something like that. I'm like, correct.
Can y'all put the link? Can we get the link to this episode?
You still gotta check that out.
You done sold it up real great.
To go find that link for us real quick. Because that joint is, in fact, I'm trying to watch that again.
Man. Did your boy? What's your boy? What's his name?
Shelley Winter.
Ben?
No.
Ben Dixon.
Yeah. Ben was like about to come through the screen and fight.
Yeah. Ben said, I call you off the suit. Yeah.
Ben was ready. Ben was on his saws. Noah was ready to go. I was like,
who was trying to fight? Y'all was trying to fight each other?
Yeah, it was bad. Kalonji was the peacemaker. That's how bad it was.
That's how you know.
That's
when I'm the peacemaker, shit's all bad. Understand that.
I mean, because to his credit, your boy, the Black Republican, was I mean, he was not backing down. I mean, he was strong in his.
Oh, no, he'll give a fuck.
I mean, he was strong with his nonsense because it wasn't making no sense.
Not strong with his analysis.
Yeah,
strong with his conviction.
Dude, we had a debate. We had a debate at the Auburn Avenue Research Library. It was him, the cat Tommy Bottoms, and somebody else. This the dude I told y'all owned the restaurant I said we couldn't go to. And it was Daruba, this other brother and myself. And it was like, and we had this cat from Channel 2 News who was the moderator. It was the wildest shit. And it's like, you know, Daruba came up in that motherfucker dressed like Daruba, you know what I'm saying? Looking like a gangster pimp. They didn't know who the fuck he was. He just ran through their shit so good. And Shelley, man, he just made Shelley look so crazy and shit. But like you said, he won't back down. He don't give a fuck what you talking about. You know what I'm saying? And he gonna make up some shit on the spot. Numbers, everything. You know what I mean?
He's one of those folks that really believe in the axiom that, you know, like it's all for public spectacle or whatever. So the more he yells, curses, or whatever he does, he's like, it's a show. And because I think right after he was like, you know, he sort of like slipped back. He's like, "You guys got what you need. You got what you need. That was good. That was good."
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, exit stage right kind of thing. So he's like always on when the camera's on. He's just on. It's like it's not even about the words coming out of his mouth half the time.
And that was the day he took his mask off on the set. And crazy shit enough, that's when I got corona. I was diagnosed a couple days later. Now I'm not saying it came from him, but I'm just saying.
You always say it came from him.
I was off 2 shows after that because we was arguing. Like, yo, put your mask on. Right before Kamau threatened to punch him in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? So we had to calm Kamau down. Look, man, ear doctor's like, yo, you can't threaten the guests, Kamau. It was all pandemic.
Yeah, people think so. I mean, again, if you want to see people out of their normal character, including the fact Kalonji was playing Peacemaker, we gotta see that. People gonna have to go back and see it. I'm gonna see it again.
I have pulled that up. May was kind enough to drop that in the chat. Drop that.
There
link.
you go.
And I'm going to be watching that at 10:02 as soon as we wrap up here.
There it is. That joint is hilarious.
There were supposed to be edits.
No, it was edited. Trust me.
That was the edit. More edit.
But listen, but I know, you know, we weren't finished with some of the obviously the news of the day. There's so much going on, and Kalonji, you had you know, something you wanted us to check out that is is wild. It's wild.
Yeah. So it's not as wild as yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Not as wild as yesterday. No, yesterday we needed recovery time after that joint.
Yeah.
Right on. So we all remember Ma'Khia Bryan, you know, say her name, 16-year-old sister who was shot 4 times and killed by Columbus police not too long ago. I know that folks was debating and arguing, you know, she had a knife or whatever, and the cop came out and started blasting on her because they said that she could have stabbed a young girl or whatever. Anyway, the coroner just ruled it a homicide. Now, the situation at hand is, you know, you have this homicide ruling, but it's not necessarily a criminal charge. It's just saying that, you know, it's determined that another person, a death was caused by another person. So the ruling is not a criminal. It's not a criminal ruling. So right now, what they're going to do is they want to, they're going to see, a grand jury is going to see if, you know, whether or not to charge the officer, I believe his name is Reardon or some shit, whether they're going to charge him or not. So in one instance, it's good that, you know, it's ruled a homicide, but what does it mean if it's not a criminal charge? So I don't know. I'm betting that he's not going to be charged with shit. What's your thoughts on that?
They've already pretty much, said as much, right? Like, the way that this was framed, first of all, Ma'Khia Bryant was murdered the same day that George Floyd's verdict against, you know, Derek Chauvin, the day that Derek Chauvin was found guilty. It was Ma'Khia Bryant and the young man in North Carolina who got killed by police the same day. And what always bothered me about this Ma'Khia Bryant case is that because she had a knife, she was always looked at as the aggressor. But Ohio is a stand your ground state. She was at her home, right? She was being attacked. She had every right to defend herself. And the fact that the police just came on the scene and opened fire, that was not in the interest of public safety because ain't no guarantee that he was going to hit her. He could have hit. There was lots of people out in that yard. So it was always, this case is just another reminder to me that Black people don't have constitutional rights. We don't have stand your ground rights. We are not allowed to defend ourselves clearly in any context or in any situation. So I don't think that the police are going to be charged because just because she was armed, that automatically, in the eyes of the law, make her guilty, despite the fact that she had every right to be armed. She had every right to defend herself, and the police was wrong to kill her. Ohio is stand your ground. Yes, it is. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
okay. Y'all just got quiet.
Yeah. I was just stuck there for a second. I mean, the thing. If anything, if there is to be a charge, then this step had to be taken. So, whatever we think of the value of charging, or even a conviction of a killer cop, this is the step that would have to be taken to clear the way for there to be a grand jury to then decide whether the cop should be charged. But to Kim's point, I mean, this is, you know, I was just thinking as one of the reasons I was stuck is because I'm thinking of this also, admittedly, you know, somewhat distracted by something that else is going on the side of me here, but that there's this debate ongoing about whether or not critical race theory should be taught in the schools, and that which feels like the intellectual assault of that is meant to be parallel to the physical that we see here with Bryant and others. That the absence of human rights, the absence of anything that would be constitutional or you know protected is demonstrated both physically in the killing and then intellectually in the argument against even being able to talk about a society that aggresses upon Black people in this way. So I mean, it's just it's you know, we're not meant to be able to physically defend or intellectually defend ourselves. So you know, like Chuck D said, we still need that mental self-defensive fitness to go along with what Balagoon is teaching on the physical side. And I mean, it's just wild. So anyway,
But it's also, oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I mean, it's also very indicative of how much Black women are not counted in the, you know, whole, you know, we thank you, Kalonji, for say her name, but there was a lot of Black people out here on that respectability bullshit. Well, she had a knife, so ergo, therefore, she had it coming, and that's fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, Black women are not afforded humanity, even sometimes from our own communities, right? Like, people don't put themselves in our shoes to try to see where we coming from, our perspective of the situation. Clearly, this young girl had some fear for her safety, or else she wouldn't have came out the house with a knife, right? So that I just wanted to say that part about it, because all the respectability nonsense that came out around Ma'Khia Bryant, well, she shouldn't have been armed. And same thing with this young man in Montgomery County, Ryan LaRue. Why do you have a gun? Nigga, because he could have a gun. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't aiming the gun at the police. He never pointed the gun at the cops, and yet they still lit him up. And it just, Black people just cannot be out here. We are not entitled to self-defense, and it is only somewhat recent that has even been a crime for police to kill Black people, right? Like, so think about all the brothers and sisters that have been murdered in decades and generations past. They ain't even think about charging the cops. So this is just another example of that. It's not even against the law really to kill Black people by police.
Hey, not to beat a dead horse. The situation we saw yesterday with Travis Moya, you know what I'm saying? The police called to his home. You know what I'm saying? He hit his own house with his hand. He knocked his own chair down, his chair that he bought. You understand what I'm saying? Police are called. He has no weapon. We watched the whole thing play out. As soon as the cop gets out the car, he's being aggressive. Such. He's standing there with his fist balled up. I mean, dude is so far away. I mean, even if he was going to throw a punch, it's like, you know, I mean, he had to be Stretch Armstrong to hit dude way across the street. You know what I mean? So it's not even about a weapon. It's about us being Black. Being Black in America, you are the weapon. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and yeah, we're going to come up with excuses, because really we need excuses as to why not to fight. Oh, well, she had a knife. Oh, he had Black skin. You understand what I'm saying? He had a beard. You know what I'm saying? Dude on the video yesterday, he didn't even have a hoodie on. His shirt was all the way open. You know what I'm saying? And dude still said, bite him. So again, it's not about,
despite having 3 police officers there on top of it,
already subdued him. Yeah.
So I mean, anyway, yeah.
Anybody see that the other video? There was this other video. It might even have been a young white person or whatever, but somebody was in a stretcher, and they were putting the person in the ambulance. And I guess maybe they were talking shit. There was something was happening. I didn't catch the verbal part of it, but this cop comes rushing over, and Cole Cox punched this person dead in the face. This person is strapped into a stretcher. Like, there's just like bam. And the other cop is like, you know, like has to pull him off, because it's like, so your anger gets the best of you to do that. It's like, it reminds me of that Chris Rock joke. Just like you can't have a bad day as a pilot, you can't have a bad day as a cop. because that means violence against other people. So there's obviously it's the race politics, it's the training, it's the idea of this army of people who believe it's them against everybody else, and that they have the protection of the laws we brought up earlier around qualified immunity, and that the state backs them and gives money out. That this whole force is about suppressing anything and everything that they deem worthy of suppressing, right? And obviously it targets our community more than other folks, but it's almost anything that they deem worthy of suppressing, they will go out and act upon it. And that's their role in society. They're basically a public army that roams the streets looking to suppress anything. It doesn't even have to be dissent, but anything they think challenges their authority.
Right. And we got to keep in mind, again, that we're dealing with the holders, the protectors of white supremacy. You're dealing with the local military establishment, local arm of the law. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So we have to keep that in mind. I think that one of the things we kind of, for lack of better words, toy around with, it's like we go back and forth talking about the role of the police, but then we're saying, you know, whether it was good or bad, and took a Miles point, not knocking what he's saying, you know, yeah, you know, we all have bad days. But some of these motherfuckers, they're coming with the intent. When that cop got out of that car, dealing with the man, he's talking to him, and you can see his gloves. You can see he's pulling up there. Yeah, we're here to help. B-52, he's being unruly. You didn't even talk to the motherfucker yet. You didn't even get out the car all the way. You know what I'm saying? You already telling him, look, I got a canine with me, and if he bites you, it's gonna hurt. That's you saying to the man. You know what I mean? So his whole attitude and everything is that of, you know, okay, boom, I'm gonna get to attack this nigga today. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't get on the ground when they say get on the ground, then you might get, you know, you may get tased, you may get shot, you may be attacked or whatever, even if you have done nothing wrong. I don't know about you all, but I'm not fond of laying on the fucking ground. The ground is nasty. It's dehumanizing. It's humiliating for you to place me on the ground. So I'm usually not the guy that just want to, like, you know what I'm saying? It's not my first thing. Oh, okay, fuck out of here. I don't know what you're going to do if I get on the ground, especially if you haven't done anything wrong. So it's a, man, like Balagoon was saying.
Listen,
yeah.
My bad. Like Balagoon was saying, I didn't mean to cut that off.
No, I was just going to say that we really have to keep our situational awareness, and also we have to move in packs, man. You can't be caught out by yourself out here, man, or you can have some problems.
Even at your house, though. I mean, Kalanji, let me say, rise and power to my dog Breezy, shorty. Breezy came out the house when I called the police to my house. And again, please, black people, I don't care who you think might be breaking in your house. That's all the reason why you need to be armed. Don't ever call the police to your house. That could have been literally a fatal mistake for me. My dog came out the house to protect me, and 5 guns were on my dog, right? And I'm standing behind my dog. So if they'd have shot my dog, there's a very good chance they would have shot me. The motherfuckers I called for help would have killed me in my front yard, because my dog was barking and growling at them. Like, we are not safe. These people do not keep us safe. These people do not keep us safe. The police do not keep us safe.
The Rubu was slammed on his head, 69 years old, while sitting on his stoop, because they said that he was breaking into his own house. Oh my God. Moving into, I mean, the house is empty. He has a fucking moving truck parked outside, and they slam him on his head because they say he's breaking into his own home. You know what I mean? So again, there's no, you know.
And we might have shown this incident too, or maybe again, it might have been on social media, but it's always, and they have always their built-in justifications. There's the incident where someone was on the highway, cop was trying to pull her over. She said that she was, and she was pregnant. Not that he knew that at the time, but she was trying to get to a place where she could pull over safely. He decided to do something. I guess they call it a tip maneuver. I can't remember the maneuver. Pit maneuver. A pit maneuver, yeah, where he basically slams his car into her car, which causes her, of course, to roll over. The car rolls over, and he's reporting on the radio, we got a roller, as in the car rolls over. And then as soon as he gets out of his car and walks over to her car, his first words aren't like, are you okay? Is something wrong? And all that kind of stuff. No humanity whatsoever. His follow-up to making this woman roll over in her car is, you should have stopped for the police. When the police are behind, you should have stopped. It's like, And your reaction is to basically roll someone's car. You know what the maneuver does. You know ahead of time because you're trained to maneuver. So you know if you do that to someone else's car, that basically it can cause a major accident / death. But yet you do it anyway, as if that's the only way to stop somebody. And if and they use those extreme tactics and they rationalize, because again, they're trained to believe that no matter what they do, they're going to have the protection of the law. They're agents of the law, that they're justified in what they're doing in terms of training. Because everyone else, particularly again, Black folks or animals or needed to be trained or treated this way. And these fools who they get off on having this sort of level of power. And that's, obviously it's the racism and the white supremacy, but it's also that attitude which makes them no good for our community. And so, I've never been an overtly abolished institution thing. That's relatively new for me. It's always been about community control. But I see, this the idea of this institution obviously can't be reformed. No. And whatever public safety devices we have next, it cannot be some militaristic top-down institution which tries to tell people that no matter what I do in this uniform, I'm right. Because it's basically this oppressive army, and you have to take it. Because that's a slave society, basically.
So I always point to this. This is one of the books I always point to when I want to get sort of an insider's white source on this issue, because this is written from a white police officer, served a long time, and in fact he was the head of the Seattle police force after he came in after Kurt Cobain was killed, I think, and has said on the record he thinks that case should be reopened. And if we go back to a story we even covered here more recently that showed the intelligence agency's ties to his ex, it stands with good reason. But the reason I bring this up is because, to your point, Kamal, he says the same thing in terms of that last issue you raised about the militarized force. His argument, and he tried to institute this when he was even in positions of power, and the whole institution came crushing down on him. But his thing was, let's at least move to the model used in England, where you militarize the police, you scale back their armament, and you even rebrand the titles. He said, take away the military titles, stop calling them captain and sergeant and all of that, and start to change the whole. And he said even that was met with, he couldn't even institute that. And he also talks about the specifics of white male fear going into Black and brown communities and patrolling them as you would a foreign or occupied territory of some kind. So, but anyway, it can't, to your point, it cannot be reformed as an institution. Mm-hmm. And even he was ultimately, as I interpret what he was saying that I can't even institute minimal reforms as a white male with power within the police force. And it was like, anyway. But Kalanji, this is why I think what you have helped put together here coming up in the next couple of days is actually really important, and in some ways a continued perfect response to this issue as we at BPM try to address or at least be reminded of the traditions that have responded to this issue in what some might say is an appropriate or best way.
Black
so what's coming up this weekend?
Yes, it's all about that Black August resistance. Long live the dragon. So on this Sunday at 5 p.m., which is August 22nd, which happens to be the day after the assassination of Field Marshal George Jackson, which would be a flea day, but this is also the day that Minister UEP Newton of the Black Panther Party was murdered on August 22nd. So we have a forum coming up, and we have several different good folks. We have Mama Ayana Mashama, she'll be on deck, along with Sonny Patterson, one of the people's poet, the poet laureate and spiritualist. Sonny Patterson will be joining us, along with Dr. Crystal Strong. She'll be on deck as well. We will have Balogun, OJ Tade, talking about some of this urban prep work that needs to take place beyond Black August, and myself, and it's moderated by or hosted by Dr. Jab over there, Dr. Jab Ball. So, this is a sanctioned 40-second commemoration Black August piece. We talked about doing a number of different things for Black August here at Black Power Media, but unfortunately, we have a whole lot going on and a whole lot of time. So this is one of the ways we will be working towards the close of Black August. Right now, today is the 19th. We have about 11 more days during the month of Black August. So again, Black August Resistance, we're going to deal with not just the month of Black August, but moving beyond the month and the practicality of the concept of Black August and what we should be moving towards, which is revolution.
Right on. Hey, so that's Sunday, the 22nd, 5 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
And that's up on the channel now. So we encourage everybody to come check it out. Continue to commemorate Black August. Yes. Right on.
Yes.
So listen, I know we got one more visit. It looks like the ear doctor is going to take us to school real quick before we get out of here for the RemiX weekend, which of course starts today on Thursdays. But
you're doing the older people the service here, Jared.
I know.
People that
it's
already
terrible.
have difficulties figuring out what day it is. I don't even know what number day it is, let alone.
It's a mess.
Hey, man.
Kim, you got to take yourself out of the colonized mind state.
Okay. So what? Every day is Friday.
Hey, if we want it, this is Black Power, baby. You know what I'm saying? We put the power to work.
Can't let these white men tell you what day it is, Kim.
7 days in a week. With you.
Yo, I'm just here to school.
There were 3 days.
I'm just here to school. You speaking of school, I'm gonna take y'all to hip hop school real quick. And then we're gonna get right back to it before we get out for this weekend. So let's.
This is why we need a black museum, so we know what days came when. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tariq. Give us that museum, bro.
Yo, big up, y'all. This is the Ear Doctor. And you know what? November's coming up, and it is Hip Hop History Month, as some have said. But you know, hip hop is every day, every month, every minute, because it's a party. And there's different elements to hip hop. You got elements that start with b-boying. You got rapping. You got DJing. You got graffiti. You got beat making, beatboxing. You got street language, and you got street knowledge. So it's a bunch of different elements to this hip hop thing. One of the elements that I do is DJing. So let me show y'all one of these elements a little bit close and personal.
Catch beats. Yeah. Chicken, more choices, chicken, more chickens, more chicken, more love, dope chicken. Chicken.
Second little bit right there, DJing, what you call scratching. And that's what it is. Let's get it back to the RemiX Morning Show, and I'll catch y'all next week, Tuesday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Peace out. And check out Sundays, 8 p.m. Got some more for you.
Amen. Me. OG.
Yeah, Doctor, do you remember who's credited with originating the scratch?
Grandmaster Wizard Theodore.
Thank you. I knew it was a Grandmaster, one of them.
Yes,
but that's it. Right on.
Grandmaster
Well
Jay.
Cut it out.
Yeah. He invented the invisible scratch.
Yo, I'll catch y'all next week, man. Peace.
Right on.
Peace.
Yes. Shout out to the elements, all the elements. You know, once upon a time I was trying to advocate with all the discussion of the hip hop activist and hip hop scholar and hip hop journalist. I was trying to advocate that they step into the arena like DJs and MCs and battle one another, because I thought that there was so much hip hop scholarship that was being produced outside of a, appropriate political lens, that I was like, we should be battling too.
Who's my man that's connected to PE? Who's his name?
Harry Allen.
Harry Allen, yeah.
And people should go and check out. There's a classic back from when I was working with one of these other outfits before I got with BPM out there. There's a classic interview with me and Harry Allen when he passed through. And I got him, and I was very happy because I got him to say on the mic, "Don't believe the hype."
We got to top it now. We gotta get Flavor Flav on here to say, "Yeah, boy," and then take them off real quick.
I was like, come on, Harry, you gotta say it, man. You gotta say it. The media assassin, the original media assassin.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, shout out to Harry. He's out here doing something. We should probably check in on him at some point, see what's up.
No doubt. I'm sorry, man. You just got me in PE mode, man. I'm just like, man. I mean, people who don't understand what Public Enemy meant to us in that era. You understand what I'm saying? I feel bad that some folks missed that particular era raw and uncut. Not just going back checking out the tapes and the music itself, but just that culture, that moment in time. X-Clan, Lakim Shabazz, King's Son. You know what I'm saying? That was a beautiful era. Then Brand Nubian, folks like that. So yeah, definitely shout out to PE for ushering.
I had my Walkman. I stuck my cassette tape in there. Man. I used to walk around angry 24/7.
What?
You have a Black Planet?
Man,
there's other great ones, but I was like,
I've even shared. PE got me arrested. I've even shared that story here when I was singing 911 as a joke at the party. It got locked up for it. Like
had to been in Howard County.
No, it was worse. It was worse. It was at Ocean City.
Oh,
that's why I was saying. That's why I know that Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh is guilty, because when he was mentioning Beach Week, I went out to Beach Week and I was probably there when he was there. I know all the savagery that went on out at that joint. Man, that place was a mess. It was gross. It was disgusting.
It's annual, though. I mean, that's
what
Maryland
I'm saying.
Kids' rite of passage to go to Ocean City for Beach Week, and your white friends will get you in trouble in Beach Week,
and they sure will. And that's what happened to me. That's exactly what happened to me.
Jared.
So you got to be careful with your white friends.
That always.
I gotta ask though, Jared, because you said you got arrested because of PE, right? I gotta ask: has anyone in the history of Blackadom ever got arrested for listening to Mama's Biscuits? I'm trying to see if they quoted Mama Biscuit, and you know what I'm saying. I'm just trying to figure out. It might have been something that went on. What'd you think, Kamal?
Well, maybe smashing a tape in public or something, and a fragment of it hit some old lady in the eye, and she called the cops. Something like that might have happened.
Interracial Wu-Tang. Y'all know what it was.
That what they trying to bomb, man. I was trying to ask my brother. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm honored to know somebody from Mama's Biscuit.
From 1997 to 1999, the hottest funk band in Western Maryland. I'm trying to tell you.
We got to do a compilation of you just saying that. Because
you can front if you want.
Shout out to Western Maryland. Yeah, I can see y'all ain't had shit to do.
Dog.
It was rough out there. It was rough, no question. It was
rough in the tree-lined streets, right?
In them trees.
The mountains, Joe. Frostburg?
That was just mountains. Yeah, that was mountains and
Frostburg.
redneck-lined streets. That's what that was.
Mountains.
Man, they must give you a scholarship, man. I know you didn't just go out there and pay to go.
Had to.
No. So the real story is I had left I'd come out of the Navy, and my plan at the time was to become a professional football player. Frostburg at the time, it's wild. Frostburg at the time.
Stop. You got out the Navy.
Yes.
Okay. And your legitimate plan after that was you were to go into NFL.
So listen, you got. I was modeling at the time. There was Kevin Green, and there was one other player who played an outside linebacker or defensive end position who had been in the military first and then walked on at their university and then blew up and got to the NFL late. So I was like, boom. On paper, I had all the stats. Okay. I had the bench press. I had the 40 speed. I had everything. So I was like, boom. I'll walk on at Frostburg, which was a top 5 Division III school. I'll dominate. I'll go to the University of Maryland and dominate, and then go to the NFL. Only problem is I had a mountain bike accident and tore my shoulder up.
That was the only
Not
problem.
have insurance.
Okay.
The only problem, tore my shoulder up. Didn't
You
have
ready,
insurance.
though?
And
Damn.
to this, somebody could check it. I bet I still hold the bench press record for the football team. And even after my shoulder had been done, I came back and still set that record. So
damn.
So,
And you was going to start at Division III and work your way up to
man,
what?
I was 435 off the rack and down on by myself, a 4.8 40, 260. You know what I'm saying? I was, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, go ahead, boy.
But everybody's lucky because without
Dreams
that, I might have gone off and been rich and famous, and
you wouldn't have been out here with us.
BPM.
Okay.
So you're welcome.
Thank you.
You could have been capping it, B. You could have been capping it.
I was capping it
with your
before
mulatto
capping it.
afro
I'm trying to
floating
tell
in the
you.
wind kind of thing.
Cap a nigga. Yeah.
I was capping before capping.
Okay, no cap. Jared's capping.
No cape. Capping.
Anyway.
Mama's bench
look at
press.
here.
Shout out to Carpe
Mama's
Diem
bench
in the chat.
What happened? Who's hating
Mama's
on the
bench press? Mama's bench press.
Oh, they hate. They hate.
Oh, bruh.
Hey,
Oh,
listen.
bruh.
I love it. I love it.
We gotta get rid of the soul, B. You gotta get rid of
Oh, shit. Biscuits in the house.
That's when Jared got.
where
That's when
can I
Jared got a
find
little
these
chubby.
tapes?
That's when he got a little chubby. It was like he came out the Navy. He started eating Mama's biscuits.
Oh.
From
Put a couple down.
From the mountain bike accident. He was on that damn. What the fuck was you doing on the mountain bike?
Thank you, Kalonji.
I was
That's
trying to
the
get
first
ready.
thing.
I
Need
was trying to
answers.
get ready for training camp. That's literally what I was doing. Get ready for training camp.
You were in the mountains on the mountain bike?
My cardio.
Okay.
And tore it up. What can I
Damn.
say?
The Adventures of Jay.
Yeah. Well, we're all
I
grateful.
get no respect. I see
No,
that.
we are grateful. Now we have you with us, so we're all grateful for.
Thank you, Jared.
That's what it is.
For that one thing that stopped your NFL career. Yeah.
Hey man,
That
I'm
one
glad.
thing. I was this close.
Is that close?
I was this close.
Damn. They should have took you on anyway, man. They should have. You know what I'm saying? You could have been Tony
Every team
Dorsett.
is a comedian, you know. So hey.
Hey.
No, I will say this: the Washington football team trained at Frostburg when I was there, so I was on the sideline for one of their training sessions, and when they go full contact. And I will say, stand on the sidelines is nothing like what you watching it on TV or in the stands, and even in the practice, I remember thinking, "This ain't for me." So I was fronting. I'm injured. I can't play anyway, but that's not for me, man. It's a bit much out there, man.
So it was like when we used to watch Channel 5 martial arts up in the tri-state area and shit.
That's
you know what I'm
it.
saying, on Sundays or Saturdays. You know what I'm saying? You watch all the karate shit. Everybody come outside thinking they can fight, and somebody get fucked up thinking that big spin around shit that they did, and somebody punch your ass, you go slide.
They don't realize they got wires connected to them. They're
Like,
out there trying to jump
Superman.
off cars.
Yeah.
That's it.
And,
So I was
and half
out
the
there
time they don't got to get fucked up. They fuck themselves up because they try to
Exactly.
sprain an ankle.
Thinking that
But-
shit real.
Yeah, them cats, watching it full speed live on the sideline is nothing like TV, nothing like even being in the stands. I was like, man, that's crazy. Y'all crazy. I'm not.
So that's why. That's the real reason. You try to
I'm gonna go
blame
ahead
it
and get
on
it
the
at. Yeah, no, I was already hurt, but I was like, it's you know,
I can be hurt
maybe
worse.
it's a good thing.
Jared, what are your
Like,
dimensions? I'm curious. Like, what? I've never met you in person, so I don't know what you look like
Dimensions.
beyond. Your dimensions. Doc.
All right,
What
it's
I-
time
did
for me to
I-
go.
I said dimensions.
Well,
what
right
are
now,
your dimensions? Height, weight.
right now, I'm about just under 6'1", 6'2", 2. I'm about 210 right now. But at the time, I was like 260. You know what I mean? A nice, you know.
And 6'4". He was 6'4" at that time.
6'2", 260, running a
Yeah,
4.8 40, benching 435. You know,
Come on.
225, 28
Show us
times. I
some
was
of them
doing it.
pictures. Where are them pictures at? Can we get some of them pictures?
They got burned up. They got burned up in a house fire in Milwaukee. Oh,
But then, but like
When
you
he
said,
fell off the
the
mountain bike,
15
all the
came on
pictures fell
quick.
out and they never got found again.
And by the time I left undergrad, I was up in them 290s. I was
Hey, yo,
295.
Jared lying, y'all. Jared's like 6. He just left here. Jared like 6'11". Talking about some damn 6'2".
Nah, man. Anyway, so once upon a time, look, the fantasy was I was this close, but I'm better off here. Listen, tomorrow morning, please come back to point Kim made, I think was it on your show or here? I can't even remember where you said this, but you were talking about getting in touch with folks from Afghanistan to hear from them. I think for your show.
Yes,
I think we're going to have some on my show tomorrow morning. A group of folks from Afghanistan, political journalists. I'm not entirely sure. We're getting put together. So come back and check that out tomorrow morning. And then Kim, I know you got something. Your is tomorrow evening as well.
Yes. Oh my God.
But we don't know.
Tomorrow is Friday. Like,
tomorrow's Friday.
Trying to help you. We told you it was Remix Friday today. That should have been
Remix Friday today. But
keep up with us, Kim.
I'm trying to keep up with y'all, man. Black Power Media, there's so much going on over here. Like, this is like the most amazing channel because there's new content every single day. New stuff. But join us over on Burn It Down with Kim Brown tomorrow at 5 o'clock. I'm working on trying to get this independent journalist from Los Angeles. His name is Vishal Singh. Vishal has been covering these the Proud Boys are wilding the fuck out, y'all. And I don't think enough people are paying attention in Los Angeles and Portland. And they are really trying to get a race war started. And the police are 100% in favor of that and allowing them just to come out here and maim and attack people, journalists, innocent bystanders is pretty crazy. So hopefully we can get Vishal on tomorrow to talk about some of what's been happening in LA, because it's been a little crazy out there in Los Angeles for real.
Wow.
All right.
Right on.
Good job running these.
And then Saturday we got the Warrior class. Sunday we got the special on Black August. Sunday night we got Sundays. I'll be back Monday morning. We got a whole bunch of stuff, and please go check all the stuff you may have missed here at Black Power Media. A lot of great stuff. So shout out to Sister May. Shout out to the Ear Doctor. Shout out to Baba Balagoon and his crew. And
I'm about to watch this episode of Renegade Culture, right?
Gotta go check
now.
that out. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Come out looking nervous.
The unpresidential debate, the big black ideological showdown, dog. I'm in it.
I'm watching it again. And then stay tuned because we get to hear what Kim thinks about it next week.
No doubt. Hey, man, you're now in tune to Remix Black Power Media. We'll catch y'all later on. Black Arts Resistance. We out. Check.
Y'all. Have a good one.